In this ResaleAI training, we're going to go over how to set up your sign to sell buy process and how to use it most effectively. We're also going to talk about the text messaging feature and how to text message customers back and forth and ways that you can utilize your texting phone number. In order to use the buy sign to sell process, you're going to make sure that you turn that on. So when you're logged in from your owner or manager account, you want to go up to the menu bar. So you go up here, click on settings, and then you want to click labs, and then sign to sell. You want to make sure it's turned on for you so that you can see the sign to sell buy process on your phone, and also make sure that it's turned on for the store itself. If you have multiple stores, you want to make sure it's turned on for them as well. And then the stores themselves want to make sure auto login is set up, because each store, when you click on ResaleAI POS to open up ResaleAI, it's going to auto log them in, so they won't have to log in with any type of username or password. In order to get started, there's a few different setups for sign to sell that's separate from ResaleAI. So you want to make sure that you click on this gear icon, and you can customize different parts of it. So if your store does require a driver's license number, you can click that so that shows up to the customer. Also, if you're a very high volume store and you want to set pickup times, you can turn that on. You can come in here and customize your terms and conditions, and then your marketing code. So if you have a remarketing cookie that you're using with your marketing or advertising company, you can put that in here and then just click save. Also, we've put together a onboarding instruction guide to help you get started as well. So if there's ever a point after you watch today's video that you have any questions, you can always reference this information here. It's saved for you. So you want to make sure that you're also setting the DRS employee initials. So you'll go to settings, employees, click on that pencil icon and add their DRS initials. This is going to allow the customer or the employee's initials to print on the receipt tags, and also give them the option to choose their name when they're sorting the buys in ResaleAI, and I'll show you what that looks like. So go back into ResaleAI, click on the daybook, and this is going to bring you back to the main screen. And then you want to click on the buy tab here on the left-hand side. So going forward, when the customer comes in, you'll ask them if they've ever sold with you before, much like you do now, but they're not going to be using a paper slip. They're going to come in and you're going to initiate the buy in ResaleAI and text message the customer that buy slip that they would be filling out, and they're going to fill that all out on their phone. So you click check in, ask the customer what their cell phone number is. They give you their number. If they're an existing customer, their transaction or their record is going to pull up here. You can see I have purchased with the store before, so my name populates. If they're a new customer, then that won't populate. You'll just enter in their name and phone number for them. The team member now is going to make sure that they're putting in the description and the amount of bags and boxes they brought in. We want to make sure that it's the most accurate. And then fill that out. And then checked in by. And then you'll click send to customer. And that's going to text message the customer that form. And I'll show you what that looks like. So we've already sent them that. Here's the text message. It comes in as a link. You click on that and it opens up the form here on their phone. So their name and phone number is already there since it was entered in. They have the option to leave their email there. And then if your store requires a driver's license number, that's what that looks like. And then your terms and conditions are over here on the right. So by signing below, they sign their name with their finger and then they click check in. Now, if by chance the customer doesn't have their cell phone, or they're out of data, or they can't get it to pull up, you can still create the buy using sign to sell. You would just click create, and you're only going to see that button when you're on the POS, so it won't show up on my screen since I'm on my computer. That's why I wanted to show you it right here. So you'll click create, and then once you've done that, it's going to print out those buy slips directly from the receipt printer, and the customer will just sign their signature there. So once you click checked in, the customer then will show that they're pending. So if you have to verify their license, this is what that looks like. You'll just ask the customer for their license to authenticate their buy, visually verify it, and then click verify. Returning customers will have to enter in the information again. You'll just have to verify the last four and then click verify. Once that's done, then you'll click check in, and the print receipts automatically print out from the receipt printer, so you can see this purchase This buy had 3 bags, so you can see 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. The 309 number, that's the last 3 numbers of the transaction ID. And then the slip here, the sign to sell slip, is what's going to stay with the ticks, and this is the customer signature. You've got the date and time, all the information on there as well. And then these 3 receipt prints will go on what you're going to be sorting that they brought in. Once you've done that, you're going to have it open. Your buy will then go over here to the open tab. They've already filled that all in. So now it's in the open tab. We don't have any data right now since our store is not open, but you'll see the name, customer's name, and all the information here. And then you'll have an option to select a sorter. And that is going to let the customer know on their phone that their buy is being sorted, because now once they've checked in, they have an update menu tab on their phone letting them know where exactly their buy is at. So once you select that sorter's name, then that checkbox is going to appear. So you can see here in ResaleAI, sorter, Haley Young, Connor is the customer. What that also does is alleviates any confusion. So if you have a bunch of different buys waiting to be sorted, you don't have to be like, hey, who's doing this buy or who's up next. You can quickly see what needs to be done in ResaleAI and then select your name as the sorter. Once you've done that and you're sorting the buy in, when you're entering the buy in the DRS, you can just hit the Alt-Tab button to switch over to DRS and then start entering in the information of the buy. Once you've done that, you're going to click Complete on the screen. So you'll click this Complete button. This box is going to pop up, and I can show you what that looks like on a previous buy. And then you'll enter in their information. So what the notes are for that buy, and then why you like some things and why you passed on some things. Each store is going to have a default brand information loaded here. As you type in your own reasons for your store, they'll become your defaults for check marks. So you can see it end up being fully customizable for you. And then if you were going to offer any items for them, it would show up here. The quote amount for the buy would show up right here. Once you've done that and you have entered it into DRS, you've clicked on the notes in ResaleAI, then you want to text message the customer. And you'll use whatever text messages that you've pre-saved for your store. So check on that and then click that button, and then you'll be texting that customer. Now the buy is going to stay in the Complete tab because you've entered it into DRS, but it's not closed out yet. And when the customer comes and gets it, that's when you cash them out into DRS. That's when it's going to move over to the Close tab. If the customer still hasn't picked it up yet and you want to remind them, you can always come up here and click on their name and send them another text message to remind them to come get their buy. It's important to note that when you are using the sign to sell process with ResaleAI, that it's only going to work from a POS system because it's directly integrated with DRS. So you're initiating and starting those buys in ResaleAI first, and then sending it to DRS. So you're only going to have to do that one time, so you don't have to do anything in ResaleAI and then jump over to DRS until you're in DRS entering in the buy information. So you're already creating and starting that in to DRS. So if you ever happen to get an error that the device is not supported, that means you're not on ResaleAI POS. So you want to make sure that you look at the top of your screen and it says ResaleAI POS on the top left-hand corner. If you don't see that, that means maybe you've somehow logged into ResaleAI through Chrome or Internet Explorer, and you want to make sure that you sign out, close that out, and click on your ResaleAI POS icon on the desktop and open that screen up there, and then you'll have the ability to text message those customers. Now, you're texting the customer in ResaleAI directly, so I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So anytime the customer texts you back, you'll get a ding on your POS, and then a number will show you how many new text messages you have right here. So you got conversations, and that's when a customer has responded back to you directly, and then you have all. These are all outgoing text messages to the customer. So there's a couple different ways that you can utilize our texting function. So you're going to text them when their buy is completed. You can use it to remind the customer that their buy has been finished. Also, you can use it to advertise on social media. So when you post different outfits of the day or different items that come in, like, hey, we just got this Bob stroller in, text us to hold it. They can text the store and it's going to come in directly through ResaleAI for you to respond back. So they're not having to call into the store, type any phone lines. You can have that direct conversation with them through text message. And you'll see a lot of the customers will take screenshots of stuff that you post on Instagram asking if they're still available or if you can hold it. And then you can respond directly to the customer. It's always really good to note as well so they know, like, here's a customer asking if this is still available. If the customer were to accidentally call the store or call the texting phone number, it's going to automatically ring to the store. So we got that routed for you automatically. If you ever wonder, oh, what's my store phone number? You go to settings, and then under store settings, here's your texting phone number. So if you're ever wanting to know what that is, that's where you would go. So that has been a summary of how to use ResaleAI sign to sell process and how to text message customers most effectively. If you ever run into any questions while you're getting set up, make sure you reference the sign to sell onboarding instructions and also the process flow. This is put together in mind for you to use it to train the staff. So if they ever have any questions, you can do this. It's really great to do a couple test buys in the store before you go live. So that use your phone number, text yourselves, make sure you're comfortable with it before you get started. And this is what that process looks like that we just went over. If you happen to have any questions outside of that, you're always welcome to chat us. Just click on this button and then hit the live chat and send us a message here. That has been our ResaleAI sign to sell process and text messaging. Stay tuned for the next and last training video to talk about how to set up ResaleAI's backstock and how to use ResaleAI's backstock. Thank you.